Hello and welcome to the Pool Operators Club. My name's Andrew Gaffey and I'm here with my colleague Martin Hardy, and we've decided to start this Pool Operators Club. So we just wanted to do a podcast really to explain what is it all about, and who is it for, and what are the benefits of the Pool Operators Club. So Martin, thanks for coming over, and nice to see you again. Well, I suppose we should just introduce ourselves briefly, who we are.
I think that's a good idea, mate.
Yeah, over to you, Martin, then. So what's your background, Martin? Where did you start in the industry?
Right, okay, mate. So literally speaking, I've had 40-odd years in the leisure industry. I started off as a pool recce attendant back in the early 80s, very early 80s. Basically loved the leisure industry and what it was all about, and thought I could expand on that. And basically thought, this is the career for me, and I'm going to go through the ranks. So
You never escaped.
Never escaped. So basically speaking, I then, throughout the first few years, I thought I need to get some qualifications. So I did all my usual qualifications in terms of lifeguarding and pool plant and all that. But then decided I'd like to get up the tree, and went and did a day release course on the Wirral at Carlett Park Technical College, and went and did my ISRM qualification. And at that particular time in our industry, as you well know, that was the only recognised qualification in terms of management, operational qualifications for pools.
Yeah.
So I did my management exams and passed all them. They didn't offer then the diploma. I haven't got the time for that, really. I was quite happy with what I'd got. So basically speaking, started that, worked through the leisure industry, mostly in North and Mid Wales. But for the last probably 15, 20 years in the leisure industry, I've been involved in senior management positions. Okay. So general manager facilities and all that kind of stuff, working for local authorities in Mid and North Wales.
Right.
So we did 20 odd years local authority. Operational, all running swimming pools and AstroTurf pitches as they were, and all that kind of stuff. And then decided that I'd have a look into the private sector.
You went to the dark side.
I went to the dark side. At that particular point, I thought, oh, there's a nice job. And I went to work for a company called Water Babies. And Water Babies is a franchise business teaching 0 to 4-year-olds throughout UK, Ireland, and now basically all over the world. At the time I was there, they were teaching somewhere in the region of 45,000 0 to 4-year-olds per week.
Really?
Yeah, and hiring round about 590 pool facilities throughout UK, Ireland, Canada, China, Germany, Holland, the whole shebang.
It's quite some organisation then.
Massive. But one of the nicest jobs that I've ever had, really. But I was their head of ops. So from that perspective, I had to make sure that all their pools were safe to swim in.
Yeah.
But I also had to make sure that their business facilities, their offices and whatever were compliant as far as health and safety was concerned. At that particular point, it was quite handy that I was a member of IOSH.
Yeah.
So I've got my Tech IOSH membership. So in terms of that was a case of risk assessments, all that kind of stuff, and all their operational documentation from an office perspective, but all their operational documentation in terms of the pools that they hire. Because predominantly they were hiring pools. They didn't own their own. So we had to make sure that the pools that we were swimming in were safe for our staff, but also our clients.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did 10 years of that, Andy, and having done 40 to 60,000 miles a year in the car, and you know what it's like traveling, it actually burnt me out.
Yeah.
So I thought there must be a better way to earn a living. So at that particular juncture, I set up Pool Oracle. So Pool Oracle was set up as a pool consultancy company. But I'm also a senior tutor in pool plant.
Yep.
So as well as my health and safety and pool qualifications and training qualifications, I could literally deliver or can deliver everybody's needs in terms of operation of a pool, really. And then obviously within the last few years, I've bumped into you, somebody that I was aware of as far as the industry is concerned. The Gaffey name is a name that stands alone as far as the pool industry is concerned in particular. Yeah. And we got our heads together, as we've done with this, and decided we need something more.
Yeah. Indeed.
The people out there need a bit more than what they're getting.
Yeah,
And some of them want a quick, easy, accessible, affordable means of finding out the information that they need in order to operate their pools in a safe manner. And I think that's what the Pool Operators Club is all about, mate.
Yeah. I agree. And that's the feedback I've got from when I've been holding courses, SDA courses, that there needs to be something more to help support these operators, especially the little ones that don't have all the back end, office or admin support, training support.
Yeah.
And for them, it's a costly exercise trying to get assistance in. And that's exactly why we thought of this. This is needed in the industry, something else. Where do we go from having the basic training? Where do we go for future advice, or how do we get it quickly?
Yeah.
And I think that was what was behind the Pool Operators Club.
Yeah, it certainly was. Yeah, I think we're gonna when we expand on all this, and obviously our listeners and hopefully our members of the future will realise that we're in this game in particular to look at the private as well as the public sector.
Yeah.
But there's thousands of operators out there that are running their own little swimming businesses, 400 or 500 clients on their books, hiring pools, not really aware of what their responsibility is in terms of hiring them, but also what their operators' responsibilities are to them in terms of them paying them a facility hire fee and what they should be expecting for that fee as well.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to address this a bit later on, and as far as our packages are concerned, we'll have all that information available.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of level that we're pitching ourselves at as well.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can help those people out. My background was probably a bit different. So when I left school, I was encouraged to be an electrician because I was always meddling with electrical equipment as a kid. And my father, who was a bath manager for many years, pointed me in the direction of the local authority that had an electrical apprenticeship going. So I joined Rossendale Council as an apprentice electrician in their leisure department, and we looked after all the local leisure centres and swimming pools. There were a few then. I think there's one left now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we looked after all the maintenance in those buildings, circulation pumps, lighting systems. We even looked after the BBC when they came to do events at the local leisure centres. We provided all the temporary power supplies for all their lighting and cameras and things like that. So it was a really interesting job. Unfortunately, at the end of 2 years, they didn't have a full-time position for me, so I had to leave and finish my apprenticeship somewhere else. But eventually, I joined Stranco. This was 1984, I think, and they were just pioneering. They were becoming a big competitor for Wallace & Tiernan at the time and taking the market by storm, really. And so I joined them as a service and installation engineer, installing pool controllers, pumping systems, and doing all sorts of industrial installation work as well in water treatment. So I was there for about 3 years and I enjoyed it, but it was like, it was like 50,000 miles a year job.
Yeah.
Back then you could do 50,000. I wouldn't like to try that now.
You wouldn't. I don't think you get very far.
No, I wouldn't get 50,000, I don't think. But so I did that for a few years and learnt a lot in the industry about water treatment, chemical dosing and control. And then eventually I joined my father, who'd left and gone to be an independent distributor for Stranco in the north. So me and my brother joined him, and we built a business there for many, many years. I only left that business a few years ago to go and do other things and pursue my own direction, which was getting back to the coalface of supporting pool operators, really. I've become a little bit removed from that we were manufacturing systems and all the machinations that came with that, of trying to support technical equipment with distributors abroad and things like that. But I got more and more removed from the actual pool market, really. So hence I went on my own, and eventually we bumped into each other. I landed up on one of your training courses and decided to be a tutor as well. So I'm glad I can put some of that knowledge to work, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy tutoring. I enjoy doing consulting work, helping people with their water treatment filtration systems. Been doing that for 30 odd years, and I find it really interesting. And I think between us, we can cover a lot of ground for operators, anything from starting up and business planning for things like swim schools, health and safety consulting, COSH, audits, leisure centre management, managing staff, and everything down to plant refurbishment, specifications, and planning works, technical works like that. Anything to do with the operation of wet leisure, really, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And going back to, we said, who is it for? We said there's obviously big operators out there need help as well, but particularly small ones. And we're talking about small, they could be charitable organisations, can't they? Or it could be swim schools, that type of thing. That's who we were thinking that this will be a benefit for.
Yeah.
And I think talking to people that I've had on courses, and I'm sure you're the same, they've often said at the end of the course, okay, so where do we go now? Where can we find out more information? Where can we get more help or expand our knowledge? And really, there is a bit of a dead end, isn't there? When you look at industry bodies and things like that, if you want to, especially on the technical side of managing facilities, it's a little bit of a dead end. So we want to try and fill that void and provide an online resource where we can provide video training courses so that people can dip in and extract the subjects they want to deepen their knowledge on. We've also got webinars that we're going to do with Q&A sessions, podcasts with guest industry experts.
Yeah,
try and get some interesting people in with expertise in relevant areas as well. And also to provide a forum for members as well. So hopefully our membership, as it grows, the forum will grow and members can exchange ideas and solutions to their problems. And we can create quite a vibrant online community as well.
Yeah.
People to help each other, I think.
Yeah.
And so that really is behind the reason for the Pool Operators Club. We hope we can encourage you to join us on that journey. And of course, this resource is going to grow, isn't it, Martin?
It is, mate. Yeah.
We're going to add. So we're going to be adding content, adding video courses, short form and longer form premium courses as well, to grow this body of content, really, so that the membership becomes more valuable as time goes on.
Yeah, that's right, mate. I mean, a lot of it will boil down to training, like it normally does, especially in terms of operational side of the facilities.
Yeah.
And the urban myth for me is that your employers or whatever you think that they can send you on a level 3 pool plant course, get you back into the facility and you can operate a pool plant. Anybody that operates a pool will be fully aware that staff induction is critical. Yeah. So in terms of that, it's all right sending them on the qualification, which is good from a theory perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm a firm believer, and we're both old school, the practical element of our job in particular is key. So it's all right having all the theory.
Yeah.
But if you can't do the practical, in a lot of cases, the theory is worthless.
Yeah.
So you've really got to go back to your facility after you've done your training course, and you've got to really have some good people that are back at your facility that can show you the ropes, show you how you backwash, show you. And I mean, it's quite often now, isn't it, the case with us on courses that people attend and you can quite easily see that they don't have that operational background.
No, I think that's true. And, I've had a few people on courses that have said, I did a course a few years ago, my first ever pool plant course. We did it at a leisure centre. It looks nothing like our pool. And we end up coming back to our own pool and almost backwashing by numbers. They're just doing everything by numbers because it's so different to the pool that they got trained on.
Correct.
And this is where mistakes can come in. It's where people just stop learning because they don't fully understand their own pool. And I think private pool plant courses are the way forward.
Yeah.
So that people are getting more site-specific training on their particular pool. You're not in a bunch of 16 people from 10 different facilities.
Yeah.
And they're all vying for your time. They're all trying to get the value out of their course, but you haven't got the same time to dedicate to those people.
No.
And I think this Pool Operators Club is a great way we can help people to understand their own facilities a lot better.
Yeah.
And the reasons behind the way we do things the way we do, and how to do things thoroughly and properly, operate their pools more efficiently. Yeah, I think there's a lot we can offer to help those people.
Yeah. I think the sad thing, along with everything that we're talking about, is that it's a national crisis that we're in now in terms of pools closing as well. So there's a lot of people out there that are running their own little private swim clubs, and they're finding it extremely difficult to hire pool space and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of that, a lot of the skill that we're going to offer here is how to maintain efficiency out of the plant that you've got, out of the pool that you've got, the age of it and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So the environmental side of it now and this net zero thing that we're talking about,
Yeah.
we're in a good position here where we can start to try and educate people on how to get the best of what they've got.
Yes.
Because the problem that we've got is that these facilities are closing.
Yeah.
And for me, with my background in the public and particularly the private sector, is that the worst thing that can happen and the worst thing that you can see is pools closing.
Yeah.
I mean, that develops now into communities that are actually taking over their own pools because the local authority can't afford to run them and all that kind of thing. So there's loads of target market areas out there that I think the Pool Operators Club can help with and assist with.
Definitely.
And to be honest, I don't think we're drawing any lines, are we, in terms of who we can, if it's pool related and if it's commercial, if it's private, whatever it is, the Pool Operators Club can help all those people.
That's what we want it to be, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. You can see some smaller operators doing a great job of running facilities on very tight budgets. And you can see that some of them have really worked hard and put the effort in to be able to save those pools.
Yeah.
And they deserve some help. Not all of them have got big budgets to assist them with training and advice and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think this is where Pool Operators Club can come in, because we're looking at memberships here. You can start off at the equivalent of a price to a cup of coffee every week. I mean, you're not going to get a lot cheaper than that, are you?
No. Well, it depends where you buy your coffee.
It is. But, we want it to be value. So it could be, a one-man band. It can be a single individual membership. Yeah. Somebody just wants to join personally and just improve their knowledge. Or it might be a small group, a small organisation that wants group membership to help them with their training in-house and stuff like that. I think we can provide a lot of value, really good value for very little cost, and create this membership community as well where people can swap ideas and they can see how other operators are managing their facilities.
I think a major factor in all this, and you mentioned it earlier, is budget.
Yeah.
So, you can spend, it doesn't matter what environment you're in from a work perspective, but you can spend huge amounts of money on training, you can spend huge amounts of money on consultancy and things. And we are pool consultants at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, we do all right out of it. But I mean, at the end of the day, we genuinely are, between us and the people that we'll invite in as guests, we're genuinely here to help people to get the most out of their facilities, but in a safe manner as well. And making their facilities safe to operate in, making them safe in terms of people swimming, making the people's experience memorable, good clarity, nice clean changing rooms, all that kind of stuff. And all those kind of basic things all contribute to that experience.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse, and we've had it for years. As an ex-operator, I've seen it. There's nothing worse than people turning up in your changing rooms, there's mud all over the floor and things like that.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, it doesn't look good. But the other thing from our perspective is look at hygiene. Look at all the feet there that are going to transfer all that soil, mud, whatever it is on the floor into your pool. Yeah. That causes problems straight away. Yeah. So it's really about addressing all these basic things, getting them right for the long-term benefit of your facility and your facility users.
Yeah, absolutely, I think. And another one, perhaps one of the last points we make on this short podcast, is looking at net zero. This is a talking point as well, trying to drive efficiency in swimming pools. They are a huge energy sink, aren't they? We want to try and improve that situation. And I think it's become obvious to us over the past few years, certainly. This is a whole new ball game. Managing energy more efficiently, it's never been more prominent now as a topic. And it's not only learning the skills of energy management, but being able to understand as well, operating to the best of your ability with what you've got. For example, pool water treatment, it can be grossly inefficient, and a lot of people just don't see it. And you'll get your energy experts coming in, auditors coming in and saying, we can identify how you can use a ground source heat pump to save so much a year. They're looking at these solar panels, and all these different areas. But the water treatment plant itself hardly ever gets looked at because it's not their forte.
No.
They don't really understand that. And over the years, I've seen it for myself, that a lot of pool water treatment plants are not operating anywhere near as efficiently as they could be. And yet, poor water quality really has such a massive impact on the air quality in the pool hall, and therefore the energy required to heat fresh air, a massive impact on the freshwater intake for that building as well, and the chemical consumption. And all that might be due to the fact filtration is not as efficient as it should be.
No.
Or they're missing a trick somewhere. So there is certainly, by deep diving into these topics of optimizing water treatment as well, and having the knowledge to be able to do that is key, I think, if we're ever going to get anywhere near approaching net zero for pools.
Yeah.
Whether that can be achieved, I don't know, but we can certainly go a long way towards it. And I really believe it starts with training, more training, and a deeper knowledge, understanding of what's going on in the water.
Yeah, and a lot of the times with that, Andy, you're quite right, is that a lot of people out there that are in our pool industry, and I call it our pool industry, they're not really aware of what equipment is out there in order to assist them.
Yeah, true.
In getting to this zero carbon emission. And the other thing in terms of that as well is that you've got a situation here where they're not naive about it or anything like that, but it's that skill and that training that you've just quite rightly said to get the most out of what they've got. We're going to come across things like PPM, planned preventative maintenance. Have they got a plan in place for that? A lot of them won't have.
Yeah, and what should it look like?
Yeah, and how long does your pump last? Are you the type of operator that'll just wait for it to break down?
Yeah.
Go into a board meeting or a council meeting and turn around and say, I need $3 or $4 grand for a new pump.
Yeah.
Or are you somebody that'll spend a few £100 every 2 or 3 years and get it all reconditioned?
Yeah.
So that you get a bit more longevity. And it's all those kind of like simple things that I'm hoping will attract people to the Pool Operators Club. That's what it's there for.
I think so. And hopefully we'll have some interesting guests along the way as well. And
I think me and you know a lot of interesting people in the pool industry. I'm very factual, very professional, and will give the correct advice.
So, if you're out there, if you're an operator, I hope you'll join us and come and take a look at what we're about. No risk in having a look, no risk in trying a bit of membership. And hopefully that membership will grow in value as we continue to add more content, more podcasts, more training videos to that ever expanding library. Really.
And the key thing is with it, is let's not forget the private sector either. Yeah. Let's not forget these little pool operators as well. The commercial side of it is fantastic, but these little kind of private people as well that are out there. A lot of people now are actually hiring out their own pools in their private homes. They've got responsibility in terms of health and safety.
That's a whole new ballgame.
The basic principle here, people, is that if you're hiring out your pool and if somebody's paying you money, you've got a responsibility.
Yeah, you've just taken that on.
Correct. You have just, whether you like it or not, you've taken that responsibility on.
Yeah, and it's worth looking into.
Correct. And the Pool Operators Club is the place to find it.
Nice one. I think just to wrap up then, hopefully we'll have our next podcast coming soon. Deep dive into a technical subject about chemical incidents and accidents that have been occurring recently. We'll have a look into that. In the meantime, if you want to head over, take a look at the Pool Operators Club. You can find us at pooloperatorsclub.com. And also, we'd be really interested to hear what ideas you might have for topics or what help you require. Any questions you might have, we'd love to hear them. And you can drop us a line at contact@pooloperators.club. We hope you enjoy the podcast, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. It's bye from me.
And it's goodbye from Martin as well.
Here's Martin. Thanks for your time.
Take care, pal. See you now. Bye.